we're going to be doing chocolate chip cookies. I'm going to be trying to do more than one version of them, but the base is going to be the same for all. So you're going to start off with 1 cup of butter, although I'm a vegan, so I'm going to be using Earth Balance, which is a butter substitute. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to cream the butter and the sugars that are in the recipe together. And usually you're going to want to use a hand mixer or one of those stand mixers for this. I unfortunately left my mixer in Rochester, so I will be doing this by hand with a fork. So what that means is there's going to be a pause, well, not a pause, but a cut in the video, so you don't actually have to watch me sit there for 10 minutes blending together sugar and butter. I guess I'll show you what I've got going on here so far. Pretty simple. So if you don't have a mixer with you, this is what you're going to have to do. If you do have a hand mixer, much faster. Like I said, I do have one, but it is unfortunately not with me at the moment. Alright, for the next step, you're going to add 2 eggs, or in my case, egg substitute. And the substitute I always use is 1 tablespoon of flaxseed, ground flax seeds, for 3 tablespoons of hot water. So for this, it's going to be, since it's 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of flaxseed and 6 tablespoons of hot water. Now you need to let that sit for a few minutes once they've been mixed together, but I actually set that up before I started the video so I wouldn't have to wait while I was doing the video. Alright, and then you just mix these together. Next, you're going to be adding your vanilla and your salt and baking soda. So for this, you're going to be, let's see, how much vanilla am I supposed to add? Just a sec. I should have this remembered, but I don't. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And where did I put the teaspoon? There she is. So for this next step, you're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda to 2 teaspoons of hot water. Not entirely sure about the physics on that one. I just know that that's part of the recipe I basically converted this one from, and the recipe always comes out well. Though I can tell you that there is a chemical reaction when I put the hot water in there, so I assume that's the function. And yes, I'm using a shot glass for this, just because it was conveniently sized for such a small amount of liquid, and you dump that into your mix. Alright, so for your next step, you're adding a teaspoon of salt. Just stir that together. Next step's very simple, just add flour. You're adding 3 cups of flour. Why are they not showing what I'm actually doing? Oh, you lazy there. Alright, and just stir this together. Now you can use beaters here, but you might make a mess unless you have a stand mixer. Those seem to do a pretty good job. It smells pretty much the usual. I always give a little taste test to make sure that what I've put together tastes like what I'm used to. Nope. That's pretty much exactly it. Alright, so now you're going to be adding a cup of chocolate chips. The original recipe calls for 2. I find that that's excessive. Essentially, you end up making melted chocolate chips with a little bit of cookie around them if you do that. This is what you're going to have from that. Alright, so when I'm putting my cookies down, I always use some parchment paper. It's the best non-stick substance you can use when making cookies. And I don't really measure the cookie size. I suppose you could call them about the size of a small ping pong ball. And you're not really going to go wrong with the size on these. They flatten out pretty well, so the surface area gets pretty well exposed to any heat in the oven. And you're going to notice I'm not trying to make them perfect in terms of shape. That's because I think that chocolate chip cookies are better when they're all different and crooked and such. The one thing I do try to watch out for, though, is that I don't get ones that have like no chocolate chips. I don't necessarily do the best job of mixing all my ingredients together. Actually, that's going to be plenty for this. These will spread out a bit, and I don't want them all on top of each other. And this is going to take how long? 10 minutes. Alright. Alright, for this next batch, I'm going to do them with some walnuts. Unfortunately, I don't have all of my mixing bowls ready, so I'm just going to do this on the tray. It doesn't really make a difference. But the thing is, I can't put, if I put the coconut into the main mixing bowl, obviously, I would then have nothing but coconut dough. Just going to make a little depression in the middle here, since I'm doing it on this and not in an actual mixing bowl, and that should be sufficient coconut. Alright, well at this point I'm done with any ones that aren't going to have walnuts in them, so I'm just throwing walnuts in the main mix. One thing with adding walnuts, pay attention, because sometimes there will be a shell in there and it's not fun to bite into a shell. Not that anybody really needs to be told that, but it is something you have to watch out for, which is why I'm actually watching everything that comes out of my hand into here. I'm not just dumping them in. Alright, so when you're done baking, your cookies should look something like this. Little browned, not burned, they become firm, and they don't actually break your teeth like it might have sounded from the sound it made when it hit the pan. They're quite soft. I bite into them, but I don't, as I said on my other video, like eating on camera. Though I suppose I could just snap one open for you. Let's see. Very gooey on the inside. Very popular item. Hope you enjoy these, and have a good day.